and then you fend off their damage.
Ooh.
And given that Argent Horse Rider, I'm thinking that this is Face Hunter.
It could be. There have been mid-range hunters. Jab's mid-range list about a month ago had Argent Horse Riders.
Yeah. He actually was #1 on ladder with a build that had Argent Horse Rider in it.
But normally that's a card that's, I think, more often seen as sort of a replacement for Wolf Rider in that 3 slot for Face Hunter. Because a lot of times with Wolf Rider you get 3 damage in because you're only able to charge once, where Argent Horse Rider you can get 4 damage in because the Divine Shield usually makes it so that you can charge twice or bait out, more resources from your opponent's board.
It's just a nuisance, and oftentimes it can even offer flexibility. Like being able to kill Knife Juggler,
sure, yeah,
it's a pretty important thing to do.
And leave a body around, which Knife Juggler cannot accomplish.
But, as you said yesterday, the key that unlocks many mage decks...
the key that unlocks the door to paradise is the Mana Worm.
And with that Leopard Gnome draw, in my mind, this is solidified. I think this is Face Hunter indeed. Ohio State, it seems like their calls on their deck build so far have been very on point, and I think they're on top of the metagame right now. Like, this seems like they're just a little bit ahead of the curve.
Hit him in the face.
SM work. Never trade. They're going to have to do some trading in this game, I think. Mana Worm can get extremely scary. And the curve from Illinois, not lacking either. I mean, Ohio State, what's the good turn 1 play here?
Knife Juggler, vulnerable to Frostbolt. Mad Scientist, doesn't trade into the Mana Worm by itself.
I think you go with the Leopard Gnome, honestly.
Sure.
Let this guy do his work. Wow, even Mad Scientist add behind this. I think this is a Mad Scientist, and then look for your turn 3 Sorcerer's Apprentice Frostbolt. I mean, that's a swing that decks are not anticipating oftentimes. They kind of look at the board position and be like, well, if he Frostbolts on turn 3, he doesn't really play a minion. Sorcerer's Apprentice, once again, all these pieces work together very well, and that's what makes this deck so powerful.
I'll show them all!
I played a lot of this matchup recently. I recently just made a run for Golden Mage. Played mostly Tempo Mage throughout it, and this matchup was really interesting to me because a lot of times I felt like I gained an early lead on the board, but I would still lose. Because you use so many resources to try and, stabilize on the board, and then you can't close them out before they can stabilize themselves and close you out. So it's an interesting matchup, to say the least. And it's one that has a lot of complexities to it, I'd say.
It's a lot of tiny... This one actually is about nuance and precision.
Yeah.
Is really where it's at. Kind of how we see some of the late game decks. They often turn into chess matches. Sometimes when both decks are dedicated to being fairly relentlessly aggressive, that same style of play comes into effect. You're just operating with a lot smaller pieces is really what it is. Both these guys trying to keep the other's damage in check so it doesn't snowball. But Illinois, I feel like, really came out on top in this exchange in particular. They took care of the freezing trap. It wasn't a liability at this point. They actually healed up the Mana Worm a little bit.
Yeah.
And they got their own Mirror Entity on board. So Ohio State, they really have their work cut out for them. They have to play this picture perfectly, or they're just not going to have the damage at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's very true. Their hand right now is not that great a quality because they don't have too much synergy outside of Knife Juggler Unleash, which sometimes Tempo Mage will flood the board, especially with cards like Mirror Image. But
is that a check for counterspell?
Sure. I'd say so.
Looking like they want to go Argent Horse Rider, Abusive Sergeant. Either way they play this, I mean, they're giving their opponent something pretty decent. I mean, again, 2-1 doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but when it outright kills one of your cards, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah. They really have to plan their future turns as well.
Get in there, fight, maggot!
I guess this is sort of the lesser of two evils, but I think they're, almost be left with sort of the same outcome at the end of the day. And they do trade in, but
Mana Worm trade.
These arcane missiles.
Well, not even necessarily that. I mean, they can just trade with the Mana Worm still too. They don't even necessarily need to use the arcane missiles. They're going to because they drew this unstable portal, I think.
Yeah.
Wow, this just takes out both minions, and they potentially could even play a 4-drop if they get it. Hey, Hitmaster's pretty good. That will unlock some of these Unleash the Hounds, though.
Yellow, one more turn, and they can Knife Juggler Unleash. That might be what brings them back into the game.
Look at this spot, though. Do you need to quick shot or kill command this Mana Worm before it gets out of hand? I think you do.
Yeah.
And then Illinois is just going to be able to add a Pilot Shredder behind this. I mean, Knife Juggler and Unleash the Hounds can definitely do some work here.
I'd say so. It's going to be 5 creatures on the board.
Second Piloted Shredder, though.
Yeah, who cares if it's a Piloted Shredder, though? 5 creatures. 5 Jugglers, 5 Hounds.
We'll see what happens.
5 Smiles. I don't know where I was going.
This one's all about nuance, precision. It's about Knife Juggler and Unleash the Hounds. There's a lot of batarangs getting thrown right here.
As long as these all hit creatures, be good.
Yeah,
No
they
Juggler
don't
to
want
the
any of this
face.
damage to go to face is really what they're hoping for here.
Oh, yeah.
Lordy. Well, 4 out of 5 ain't bad.
Yeah, I just, leave the Piloted Shredder up, trade to the rest.
Maybe they want to cut down the Shredder. I don't think it's bad.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't trade at all. Maybe they just go to the face.
Huh.
They just saw an Arcane Missile. Force your opponent to trade. If your opponent's going to trade anyway, you just get extra damage. And again, the Face Hunter deck, not a very subtle strategy. A lot of the times it does, you just direct that damage straight forward and hope that things work out their way. They want to hedge their bets. They want to make the Knife Juggler a little bit more difficult to kill.
No.
I still think Pilot Shredder's probably better here, though.
It's tough. Pilot Shredder plays better on curve, but you might not get another opportunity to play to get a spell with that Flame Waker.
Well, when it's just 2 extra damage too, that matters a lot. Say they play the Pilot Shredder, trade in their Pilot Shredder to Knife Juggler, hero power a 1/1. You have a random 2-drop, a Pilot Shredder, versus a 1/1.
Yeah. Or you can have a Piloted Shredder and a Flame Waker and still have your Piloted Shredder in your hand. We'll see if these missiles hit.
Flame Faker misses.
Those wakes.
But 4 damage to the face does not miss. In Ohio State, they really, really are lacking on options, and Flame Waker is a priority minion. Like, if you leave this guy around, oftentimes disaster strikes. However, Illinois only has 1 card in hand, so maybe Ohio State doesn't feel too threatened by it.
But if that 1 card is Fireball, then you're pretty scared because 6 damage come out your face next turn.
I think the bigger thing here is that they can't take care of the Pilot Shredder. This guy's getting 8 damage.
Yeah.
You asked what was better than a turn 7 redemption?
Turn 7 Mirror Image. Well, with a Flame Waker on the board, that's actually not a terrible
It's not
play.
a bad play here. They're shutting up 2 load them attacks.
I think Batman's 6-pack is starting to slip off to the side a little bit.
Wow, they're going to go for the trade here instead. Playing super defensively, but at this point, it looks like they've just choked Ohio State out of the game.
I think I can afford to.
Yeah, this Hunter build, it certainly can just continue to draw damage after damage after damage if your opponent trades too much. But it's pretty darn unlikely. Misha, it's okay here, not the greatest. Can they get in 7 hero powers before this game ends?
Well, there's 1. 1 down. Oh.
Ooh.
It's not quite there, but that's quite a bit of damage.
My new recipe.
That's pointed only one direction.
At the Haunted Creeper.
Got him.
Gotta make sure that I get these Haunted Creepers off the board. Yeah, and I don't know if there's anything that Ohio State can draw that's going to help them stay in this game.
It's not it.
No.
Well, not dead this turn, but again, look how much damage they have to draw.
Yeah, they have to kill command. Oh, okay, kill command the face. I guess they don't really have any other options. No, all
right,
they're
so
dead over 2 turns. There's no way they can kill them.
Can they draw Quick Shot into just craziness?
No. All right, so if they draw Quick Shot into Unleash, nope, won't do it. Yeah. And with Mirror Images, I mean, that's going to block. Even if they draw Unleash, that blocks 4 out of the 5 damage that would come out, so. I think they're dead.
I'm just trying to think of any crazy combination of cards. Like, what if they just rip anti-Keelbot?
Yeah.
You know, I played against a Hunter on ladder, like when Face Hunter was just the deck to play, and we both just go back and forth, and like on turn 7, he's like, back from the junk heap. I was like, what? What?
Anti-Keelbot.
He just anti-Keelbotted me twice.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't win. He's got the Face Hunter trump. He's got 2 anti-Keelbots.
Yeah.
But Illinois has the Face Hunter trump this game. It's just damage, 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 and kill everything Ohio State played.
Well, they finish the game in style. If they play the second mirror image, they want a room. Okay. Misplay.
Is it?
I don't know.
Is it?
7 out of 10. All right, well, Illinois puts themselves on the board with the Temple Mage, 2-1 at the moment.